Well, as much as the South African media is trying to pretend like this isn't happening or say lies about it, it's happening. Land grabs are actually happening right now, right after Cyril Ramaphosa signed that expropriation bill. That's what this video is going to be all about, ladies and gentlemen, so please stay tuned. Let's get into it.
Listen properly.
When you get into a taxi, you sit down before you get in.
Did I hear that correctly? Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Newsflash. I'm your host, Joe Emilio. Thanks for tuning in. All right, so I think maybe a week has gone by or 2 weeks since the signing of the expropriation bill, and shacks are already being erected on land.
Typical.
Let's go to this clip that's been circulating around South Africa for some time now. Let's have a look at what's going on.
Invaded land along Matala Road between Seshego Extension 76 and the Blood River Bridge. More than 200 shacks have already been constructed, and the leader
Yeah, you heard that correctly. More than 200 shacks have already been erected.
of the group is giving interested people a 2-week deadline to build temporary structures on the illegally occupied land. The group says they have taken over the land and allocated it to the people for free to use for housing purposes.
See, they're admitting it. They've taken the land for free and are giving it away for free as well. That is absolutely insane.
They say the new Land Expropriation Act has emboldened them to take matters into their own hands and occupy land which they see as underutilized. The group
And that is very important. They're taking land that they think is underutilized, but you don't know. There's no way that you can know what the government has planned for this land. If it is government-owned land, I think later on in the video that will be clarified. So it could be private land, but regardless, just because you see a land and nothing's happening on it doesn't mean you can just take it. And also, it's not for the people to decide what can be expropriated and what can't be expropriated. Remember, you're supposed to go through the land court to determine all this stuff, to determine whether your land should be expropriated or not. And this is where this expropriation bill is dangerous, because right now it's just happening on a plot of land. Nobody was living there. Nothing was happening on that piece of land. We don't know if something would have happened on that piece of land. Doesn't really matter. The point is, people are just taking land now, and that is very dangerous because it starts with this. It starts with taking that, just a little bit of land that people think isn't being used. At what point does it get worse? At what point does private property start being taken?
We are going to continue to expropriate the land without compensation. So we are going to grab each and every farm that no one is using for it, because this land belongs to our grandfathers. So we are not going to stop.
Gee, he literally, I think he just said, we're going to grab every farm that is not being used. But how is a farm not being used? If you're farming, you're using it. This is dangerous.
We are continuing to give people the stance. So far, so good. We give people plus minus 5,000 shacks.
The group says they've been waiting for years for the government to address the issue of land reform. They say the new Land Expropriation Act, signed by President Cyril Ramaphosa, allow them to take over pieces of land not in use.
Yes, if the government decides to give it to you, there is a process. And I'm not sounds like I'm advocating for this now, but I'm really not. I think this whole thing, you guys know, I'm totally against the expropriation bill. I think this is like one of the worst things South African politicians have implemented in South Africa. But this is also a danger of it, because now people just think they hear things from the president in a speech or from the news, and then they just think, oh, the expropriation bill's been signed, I can just take land. No, that's not how it works. These people, South African people, unfortunately, are poor and, let's call it what it is, uneducated and don't know any better. So this is exactly what the ANC wants. This is exactly what the ANC wants. And this is a very dangerous situation, because once again, it can escalate very quickly. And then we're going to have some serious problems on our hands.
Polokwane municipality says the 2 invaded land properties belong to private owners, and any claims that purport municipality permission are false and misleading.
And there you go. It's private owned land. There we go. So this is even worse. I mean, if it was like public or not public, but like government, like they put up shacks in a park, maybe that would be a little bit different. Not really, but private land, that's dangerous. So they've actually gone onto someone's private land and erected shacks. Oh boy, this can get really, really bad.
The municipality has warned people against unlawful occupation of land, and that should illegal occupation extend onto municipal land, it will enforce bylaws.
Okay, so if it goes onto municipal land, then they're going to do something about it. But private land, obviously, the owner has to do something about it, which means they're going to incur costs and stuff like that, and it'll be a never-ending battle in the courts. So there you go. Land grabs really are happening. Trump wasn't lying when he said they were happening. Even SABC is reporting on it now. It is official. It's happening. And as much as the media wants to pretend like it wasn't happening, we've seen examples of this time and time again in South Africa. One really good tweet that was tweeted out not too long ago is this one. Acclaimed journalist, or Jonathan Witt, says this is the DA-run Western Cape. Tygerberg Raceway in 2020. This is just before lockdown. Look at it now. Tygerberg Raceway in 2021 during lockdown.
What the hell?
Yeah, and it's probably worse now. And there's other examples of this in South Africa. Land grabs have been happening. Now, again, under the expropriation bill, this raceway is just easy pickings for the government under the new law, because they'll be like, well, you've lost control of your land, you abandoned your land, so now we're going to take it. That's what's going to happen. Same thing that could happen for the people that have erected shacks now on that private land. If the private owner cannot get control of it, the government can step in right now, right at this moment, and say, oh, you lost control of your land, it's abandoned, we'll take it. And there's something else I want to point out, because a lot of the media is saying, no, the expropriation bill does not allow for people to just take land. FMF has recently released a press release that actually points out that Trump is not wrong about the risks of the expropriation bill and confiscation of land. The Expropriation Act, recently signed into law by Cyril Ramaphosa, does provide for property confiscation, in particular Section 12.3, where it allows government to take property for nil compensation. And that is the part that people, the average person, or not even the average person, the poor in South Africa, the uneducated, hear, and then they say, oh, we can just take land. And then you have instances like this happening in South Africa. I really hope this doesn't get worse. I really hope this doesn't lead to some kind of conflict or violence. I don't know what the ANC is doing about this, if they've even commented on this. So far, they've just been saying that no, we are doing this. This law is just and it's fair, and we all know that's BS. It is very concerning. And yes, I've heard a lot of you in the comments of previous videos say that it's not just limited to land, it's property, and 100% I agree. The expropriation bill is not very clear on the definition of property, so it could mean anything that you own can be taken away from you. So if people are willing to take land so brazenly, I really hope they don't get bolder and start just taking everything you own. But there you go, ladies and gentlemen. Land grabs are happening. I really hope it doesn't get worse. I hope we can nip this in the bud as soon as possible. Only time will tell. But let me know your thoughts in the comment section below, ladies and gentlemen. While you're there, leave a like on this video, share it far and wide, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. I've got more content coming your way. And with all that being said, thanks for watching. Your Newsflash